one game away. Blow up. We're playing for something, man. We're playing for something. It's gotta mean something to you. It gotta mean something. Everything you got. Everything you got. Let's finish this.
Do it, fellas.
Let's go.
Let's do it, fellas.
Finish 2-3. 1, 2, 3. Finish.
You ready to make history? Come on now. Yeah. You know, there's these two words. And when I say them, people get goosebumps cause they know what happens next. So without further ado,
Free smoke.
look. Scared cause I'm drowning in silence with bad thoughts. These days I don't have nothing to say, man, the bag talks. I put in headphones on my driver. Pull up to the spot and give a good dick and Godiva. I can't lie, I'm uninspired. No more pillow talking about nonsense. I only stick around to put some band-aids on my conscience. I don't know why I feel so bad, nigga. That's what we do, no foundation. We don't build no more, we just screw. Half a bottle of Henny, girl, I'm going with the wind. The same niggas say they happy for me, ain't want me to win. So I'm done on my friends. Don't need help popping Coronas and reminiscing. I just call up Big Bro J and say it's time for venting. If I live forever, I hold this hate for some centuries. You don't know how much of how you doing would have meant to me, but motherfuck all that. I don't even offer up the time to make the call back. Stupid Lodo, if they don't get the picture now, man, I crop them out of the photo. I can't relate to my peers. Been doing this shit for years. I'm motivated by fears. I took the wheel and I steer. My sound not dictated by fuck boys in Atlanta. Stay gifted like this album was ghost written by Santa. Boss forever like they decided to throw me under Slammer. Every song's a hit like they picture me underhanders. I could drop a million songs, but they never gon' understand us. Soapbox sermons for niggas never giving chances. Fight our whole lives to get these weak ass advances. Work twice as hard for the shit that they getting handed. And this ain't even nothing we chose, nigga, we branded. Still can't tell why all of these niggas mad at me. I'm trying to get 100 so I can put my team on salary. Give it all to the art, man, I turn my life to a gallery. Man, damn, what a fucked up masterpiece. 1,100 shots and I swear, man, I felt them all. If we ain't even good on our blocks, man, who can we call? Pre-decline state of mind, we broke crabs in the barrel. Got us fighting our folk, man, this shit just a life of peril.
I kept saying like, bro. I'm mad, bro. I ain't gonna be alright.
Welcome to another episode of Kicking It with Saint. I hope everybody having a dope day, dope afternoon, dope night, whichever point in time you're listening to this in the day. I appreciate you for tuning in, checking me out. This will probably be one of my more passionate episodes because we got a lot to talk about. Because some things are really bothering me right now. And there's going to be some people who don't appreciate or like what I have to say. I am okay with that. That's just how this thing goes. But I want to talk about some things. We got a couple of things to talk about. Super Bowl is right around the corner. I haven't even put out a prediction video because so many other things are happening around the NFL. I had planned on releasing the Myles Garrett video today, and I'm not even releasing that today. I mean, I actually planned on releasing. Yeah, today is Friday. I actually planned on releasing that today. Yeah, that's not happening. Something different's getting released. This is getting released because two things happened yesterday night that very much annoyed me, both of which happened at the NFL Honors. Now, shout out to every single award winner at the NFL Honors. I can't remember everybody who won. I didn't actually watch the NFL Honors. I caught the recaps. Actually, I watched the back end. When I got home, Kevin Stefanski, I believe it was, had just won Coach of the Year because I had just got off work. But a couple things happened Josh Allen won MVP. And now the next thing is, I don't know why I did not write down the four dudes who made the five men made the Hall of Fame. I know Jared Allen was one. I should have wrote down the people who made it. My point wasn't about who made it. It was actually about something else. That's why I didn't write down who made it. But I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. I can't remember off the top of my head all the dudes who made it, but Antonio Gates was one of them who made it. Jared Allen made it. Nonetheless, that the point of who made it. Shout out to everybody who won an award at NFL Honors. Shout out to all the Hall of Famers. But I got a lot of problems with this, and it's not even, For one, I don't really like having to say what I'm about to say before I get into shit, but I just go ahead and say it regardless. At no point in time is anything I'm saying diminishing Josh Allen. If you watch my show, if you listen to me, you know I love Josh Allen. So I don't even have to explain that to most of y'all. But if you don't watch the show, if you've never listened to me before, if this is just a random video you clicked on, I love Josh Allen. All my shows in the past is proof of that. I talk very glowingly of Josh Allen. I have always put Josh Allen in the tier with Lamar and Mahomes. I put him under both of them, but I always say those are the three best quarterbacks. At no point in time have I put Joe Burrow above him. At no point in time. I absolutely adore Josh Allen. However, Josh Allen winning MVP last night was as much of a pity MVP as I have ever seen. And I'm not going to start the show with that because that'll probably take the majority of the time on the show. But just to show you basically where I'm going with that. 9 voters flipped All-Pro and MVP votes. Meaning, Lamar Jackson won the first team All-Pro. Those same voters vote for MVP also. 9 of those who voted, so 30 people voted Lamar first team All-Pro. Out of those 30, 9 of those same voters flipped and voted Josh Allen the MVP. At no point in time has an All-Pro, first team All-Pro quarterback not won the MVP. Over, especially when that was it's just never happened. I think a running back won it one year, but aside from that, when it's been the quarterbacks up for it, the first team has never lost to a second team All-Pro quarterback for MVP. 9 voters flipped. 1 voter put Lamar Jackson in 4th place. If that's not proof of voter fatigue and the fact that the system has to be changed. But I'll get to that later. I actually want to start off with something else. The Hall of Fame. Now, shout out to the dudes who did make the Hall of Fame. And I'm not taking away anything from the men who made the Hall of Fame, because I don't want to shit. That's the problem. When you do shows like this and when you have to talk about subjects like this, it's always going to feel like you shitting or discrediting somebody else. And that's not what I'm doing. I truly feel as though, if you feel as though that's what I'm doing, that is cool. I understand it. But I feel as though I am truly giving you good reasoning as to why certain players is just better than the other ones, bro. It is what it is. This is not for me, this is not me being emotional. That's why it's very hard for me to say preference things because it's no emotion attached to this for me. This is strictly, I guess it is emotion, but it's not emotion to like the player. I love Lamar Jackson more than Josh because he played for my team. But when we talking about these, if you give Josh Allen the season that Lamar just had, that's the MVP. And you give Lamar Josh's season, I'm not voting Lamar for MVP. When Josh Allen just did what he did. The only thing that will ever work against Josh, which will always probably work against Josh, is he play in the worst division in the AFC. And to be quite honest, he playing one of the worst divisions in football. But that's it. But if you gave him the schedule that Lamar had this year and he won those, how could I argue? Even if he had that shitty ass division. But I'll get to that when I get to that. I have a problem with the Hall of Fame. And at first I was going to talk about the guys who didn't make the first ballot, because one of my biggest problems with the Hall of Fame is that only 5 guys get in a year. See, in baseball, the problem is you can put guys in, but they choose to consistently put like 1, 2, 3 guys in. They leave so many great players who we watched throughout. If you're a baseball fan, you watched a lot of guys who are not in the Hall of Fame be legends during your time, but they can't get into the Hall of Fame. We saw baseball return to prominence because of the steroid use, and we can't see them dudes get into the Hall of Fame. You still got to go out there and hit those baseballs. Here's the thing with me. I will say, yes, I like to be funny sometimes. If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying, yada, yada, yada. I respect the integrity of the game. But when MLB knew motherfuckers was on steroids. They was influencing basically dudes to do steroids to help the product because they saw what it was doing for the product. Why would baseball is one of the only sports that consistently tinker with shit that actually affects the game. Like, they ain't just changing rules, like rules that have a slight impact, things like that. Like, we know some rule changes eventually have big. Baseball legitimately goes out to make more offense. Like, I know people can say that the NFL has created rules to help the offense out. I truly believe that is true, but they also are trying to make the game safer, regardless if you want to accept that or not. Baseball is just straight up trying to get more runs. The bases are bigger for steals. You can't throw over and stop dudes from without getting him on the third try. These are legitimate game-changing rules favored towards the offense. Like, pitchers can't pitch clocks, so now you can't have a batter standing there forever and what. Like, it is so many things that baseball legitimately does. The way they change the balls, pumping up the balls, deflating them. Like, it's so many different. But now you don't want to put niggas into the Hall of Fame. Shit makes no sense to me. That's their problem with the Hall of Fame. The NFL's problem is, and see, some people will have a problem with basketball's Hall of Fame because they say too many people get into the Hall of Fame, because basketball don't just look at the NBA. They look at your entire basketball career, basically, which I respect that in a sense, but I do tend to lean towards the NBA let too many niggas. I see, this is my thing, bro. I feel like it's got to be a happy medium. See, I don't have a problem with the NBA saying if you're on this ballot and you are Hall of Fame worthy, you are getting in. As far as like, it's no number. I don't think the NBA have amount of people who can and cannot get in, unless I'm wrong. MLB does not either. They just don't put niggas in the Hall of Fame. The NFL will only induct 5 players, I believe it is, a year. That is a problem, because now so many players are going to miss out on being not just Hall of Famers, but first ballot. Last night, I am taking nothing away from the players who got into the Hall of Fame last night, but I need somebody to explain to me how one of the greatest pass rushers in NFL history, Terrell Suggs, and people will say, well, Saint, you're a Raven fan, so you're biased. Just go look at the numbers. It's no biasness intended or in this at all. These are just numbers. He was the better player than Jared Allen. And Jared Allen is a Hall of Famer. I knew that when he was playing. Not more than Terrell Suggs. I cannot understand how Terrell Suggs, one of the great, he is 8th all time on the sacks list, higher than Jared Allen. He got a lot of stat categories that are better than Jared Allen's. I don't understand how you are okay. See, my problem is the integrity of this game now, because not necessarily the game, but these awards. Because now you taint not only the Hall, and some people not going to think about it the way I'm thinking about this Hall of Fame thing, but I think you will when I get to what I'm getting to in a couple. But how can you be okay with Terrell Suggs not being a first ballot Hall of Famer? Did you get fatigued of putting Raven first balloters in there because of Ray Lewis and Ed Reed? Now, if you don't watch football or you weren't a Raven fan, you probably would say, well, I know who those two are. I don't know who Terrell. That's on you for lacking football knowledge. Terrell Suggs is a first ballot. If you are a top 10 category of sacks all time, receptions all time, touchdown catches all time, rushing yards, you are probably more than likely a Hall of Fame first ballot player. Because of the many players that played this game, you are in a list of 10. But Terrell Suggs is going to have to wait. Luke Kuechly is not a first ballot Hall of Famer. Matter of fact, I want to go down the list of some of the Hall of Famers who did not make the Hall of Fame. Marshall Yonder, Reggie Wayne, Adam Vinatieri, Terrell Suggs, Steve Smith Sr., Luke Kuechly, Torrey Holt, and Antonio Gates and Jared Allen made it. But those first ones, and there's some other dudes on the finals list, but I specifically took certain players. And I just cannot for the life of me understand. So, now, it's one specific name I didn't say, and I'm going to get to him in a second, but Marshall Yonder not making the Hall of Fame on his first try, to me, as much as I am See, I kind of expected that because I don't think NFL guards get the credit they deserve unless you are Jason Kelsey or, what's my man's name? Lane Johnson. And I'm not saying that either of them two dudes is like loud or nothing like that, but they have big personalities. You know who they are. I think Philly got a lot to do with that because that's just like, I believe Lane and Jason Kelsey are going to be first ballot Hall of Famers. Marshall Yonder should have been a first ballot Hall of Famer. You can't name two guards that were better than Marshall Yonder while he was playing. I don't think you can name 5 offensive linemen that were better than Marshall Yonder when he was playing. And if you dominated your era when you were playing, you were always top 5. How do you not make first ballot Hall of Fame? Now, Marshall Yonder not making first ballot is not a product of him being robbed as much as it is a product of only 5 modern day players, or however that rule is, getting in. That is a problem. Because now Marshall Yonder is not a first ballot Hall of Famer. He deserved it. Reggie Wayne. Now, I actually understand Reggie Wayne and some people's arguments not being a first ballot Hall of Famer. My only problem with that would be Reggie Wayne, for a good portion of his career, was one of the top receivers in the NFL. For probably not even a good portion of his career, for probably about a good 4 or 5 year stretch, Reggie was one of the best receivers in the league, in my opinion. Now, I know a lot of people say, well, he had Peyton Manning and Marvin Harrison, which makes it even more impressive that you had Marvin Harrison was still able to put up crazy numbers. But I don't like discrediting receivers because of their quarterbacks. Because quarterbacks need receivers, receivers need quarterbacks. The Reggie Wayne one I can understand a little bit, but only, and I'm gonna get to why I can tell you right now. If I'm gonna wait because I gotta use him for something else. Adam Vinatieri, I don't know how he did not make first ballot. Terrell Suggs, once again, is a first ballot Hall of Famer. Steve Smith Sr., I can understand. I think Steve Smith Sr. is a first ballot Hall of Famer. He's one of the greatest receivers of the generation that I watched. And if he did not tear his Achilles or ACL in Baltimore, he probably even had better stats. Luke Kuechly, to me, is laughable that he did not make the first ballot Hall of Fame. Torrey Holt, I know some people didn't watch him, but to me, silly, and he should have been in the Hall of Fame. I'm gonna be honest, I don't understand the Hall of Fame anymore. And I don't know if I'm battling with the integrity or the stupid ass rules that limit how many people you can put in who actually deserve to be put in. But then my next problem would be if they were allowed to put an X number in, Eli would have slipped into this pack. And that right there is my biggest problem with the Hall of Fame. You see, so many people this morning have gotten on TV or gotten on a podcast and said shit like Eli was snubbed. Did Eli get snubbed? Eli should have made the Hall of Fame. And I cannot tell you how disgusted I am as a football fan that it's actually niggas out there who are listening to these niggas and agreeing. If you are a New York Giants fan or a member of the Manning family, those are the only people, even though I really struggle with the Giants fans also still, because you watch this nigga. You should know this is not a first ballot Hall of Famer. But I understand sometimes fandom, like I'm never about to sit around and tell you that Joe Flacco is a Hall of Famer, period. I love Joe Flacco. Put him in the Ravens Hall of Fame. But the NFL Hall of Fame, to me, is nutty. Eli Manning. See, I'm really about to piss some people off. I'm going to just be honest. I'm about to piss some people off because people are arguing that Eli was snubbed. Should he have been a first ballot? My nigga, Eli should not be a Hall of Famer. This is my problem with the NFL Hall of Fame, especially because of what's about that. See, it's definitely integrity, bro, because I understand this limited spot shit, but I just want y'all to know how many people is about to miss spots because they're going to put Eli in the Hall of Fame. See, this is my problem. Eli is definitely not a first ballot Hall of Fame. Eli is, no, here's my problem. We all know, anybody with common sense knows, and I'm sorry to be attacking it because that's attack, but if you watch football and you understand what you are watching, see, my problem is you cannot tell me that Aaron Rodgers and Peyton and Brady are great and then tell me that Eli is great. You can't tell me those are 3 Hall of Fame quarterbacks and then look at me and tell me Eli is a Hall of Fame quarterback just because he got 2 Super Bowls. That's insanity. Especially if you then tell me, well, he beat the GOAT. Michael Strahan is in the Hall of Fame. Justin Tuck probably won't get in, but he was like, it's a lot of things that went into winning those games. It wasn't just Eli. Excuse me. This is my problem with the Super Bowl value at times. A Super Bowl is great. That last name in that those 2 Super Bowl rings is the only reason they're going to put Eli in. At no point in time, Eli was never All-Pro. I think he made the Pro Bowl like 3 times in his career. He led the league in interceptions multiple years of his career. He made the playoffs 4 times in his career. I mean, 6 times, I believe. No. I don't think it was 6. I think in 2 Super Bowl runs. I think it was like 4 or 5 times he made the play. He missed it 10 fucking years. I just want to ask you, do you think Brady, Manning, Lamar, Mahomes, Allen, any of the greats, are they missing the playoffs 10 fucking years of their career? 10 fucking years. Not 1, not 2, not 3. 10. He led the league in interceptions more than 3 times plus in his career. What are we doing right now? Eli Manning is not a Hall of Famer, period. Niggas is arguing, is he first ballot? Eli is not a Hall of Famer. I like Eli. Funny dude. Great personality. That has nothing to do with what he did on the field. And I refuse to allow 2 games dictate this nigga's entire body of work. That is insanity. Using his 2 Super Bowl wins to try to say that's a first ballot Hall of Famer or that's a Hall of Famer is silly work. This is why I get irritated with fans and with the media, because the same people will look at Lamar Jackson and say, fuck all of the greatness he done throughout his career. He can't win in the playoffs, or he ain't won a Super Bowl, so that's a stain on his record. But Eli can be as bad as he was throughout his career, and the 2 Super Bowls validated somehow. I gotta listen to niggas say Aaron Rodgers had a lesser than career because he didn't win 4 or 5 Super Bowls. But I gotta listen to niggas argue that Eli is being disrespected because he won 2. This is when you start to lose me with the end all be all being the Super Bowls. Because common sense still should have to play a part in this. At no point in time did you look at Eli. Eli didn't even rank as the top 5 quarterback after both Super Bowl wins. At no point in time throughout Eli's career has he ever been considered a top 5 quarterback in the league. At no point in time. Every single quarterback I just named, not named Eli, has been considered a top 3 quarterback at some point in time in their career. Listen to the names I said. Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Patty Mahomes. These are not niggas who is flirting in the bottom half of the quarterback list. These is the top 3 quarterbacks in the league. And you're not going to use a 2 Super Bowl MVPs, a team award, to try to justify Eli's career for me. It's just not going to happen. I am not annoyed with niggas arguing first ballot. I'm annoyed with niggas arguing that he is a Hall of Famer, period. In my opinion, if you put Eli in, which they are going to put him in, and that's my biggest problem, because niggas like Marshall Yonder, Reggie Wayne, Adam Vinatieri, Terrell Suggs, Steve Smith Sr., Luke Kuechly, Torrey Holt, and others are going to have to wait longer because Eli's going to take a spot that he should not get. It's just the reality. The NFL Hall of Fame is just far too nice. Now, I was too strict at one point in time when it came to the Hall of Fame because I didn't think Phillip Rivers was a Hall of Famer. So I don't want niggas to think I just hate Eli. I didn't think Phillip Rivers was a Hall of Fame quarterback. I watched his entire career. At no point in time did I think that's a Hall of Fame quarterback. But niggas keep trying to convince me that he is. I think you can tell the story about the... See, my problem is, when I think about Hall of Famer, I should instantly think to myself, that is a Hall of Fame player. When I think of Pat Mahomes, Hall of Fame player. Lamar Jackson, Hall of Fame player. TJ Watt, Hall of Fame player. Aaron Donald, Hall of Fame player. It don't take long to think of Chris Jones, Hall of Fame player. It's not hard to think about who the Hall of Famers are right off the bat. Eli Manning, it cannot be Super Bowl. Matter of fact, let me name niggas who ain't even got Super Bowls. Tony Gonzalez. He didn't need a Super Bowl for us to know he was first ballot. Antonio Gates. He didn't need a Super Bowl for us to know he was first ballot. This Super Bowl shit to me is clowned out. Lamar Jackson retired right now. He a first ballot Hall of Fame. Like, you don't need Josh Allen retired right now. He is a first ballot Hall of Famer to a lot of people. Like, to me, you cannot use, you got 2 Super Bowls. No. That nigga Eli wasn't playing on bad Giant teams when they won them 2 Super Bowls. Yeah. I just think you're fucking the integrity of the game. I think the integrity of the game is consistently being fucked. Or these awards and adulation. Like Deion said a couple years ago that he feel like it should be 2 different parts of the Hall of Fame because they just letting anybody in now. I agree. But I'm different when it comes to the 2 sides being first ballot and everybody else. Because Terrell Owens was not a first ballot Hall of Famer. Still one of the most, and see, this is why I'm getting so annoyed with the Hall of Fame. Terrell Suggs and Terrell Owens are 2 first ballot Hall of Famers. Neither of them niggas made it in on the first ballot. No sport should be okay with 2 players like that just being left off of the first ballot Hall of Fame. Because some voters didn't want to put him in for whatever reason. They felt an emotional connection to other players more than they felt, or we didn't like what he did in it. Neither Terrells killed anybody. None of them have any type of crazy to me, the fact that neither of these 2 men made the first ballot Hall of Fame, but niggas is sitting over here arguing for Eli, was he snubbed? It's just showing you where the integrity of the game is going. The integrity of these awards. I mean, this shit is laughable. I sat and watched Greeny, Adam Vinatieri, and Dan Orlovsky, goofy ass, argue that Eli should have been a first ballot Hall of Famer. I mean, what is the integrity anymore? What are we even doing anymore? So now these are all just participation trophies. We just, everybody should be awarded something. I just don't understand this. I don't understand this. Like, I thought my biggest problem was the fact that it was only 5 slots. And that is a problem for me. But the fact that I have to, I know Eli is going to take spots from more deserving players down the line. Yeah, I just leave the Super Bowls out of this. Just off of their pure talent. You tell me which one of these names Eli is better than. Who he was, when Eli compared to his contemporaries and these players at their positions, you tell me which one Eli was better than. Because Marshall Yonder was a top guard in the league, damn near his entire career. Reggie Wayne, at multiple points in his career, was the top receiver in the league, was a top receiver. Adam Vinatieri, we know Adam. Like, nothing needs to be said. Mind you, Adam Vinatieri, my guy, they might be ready to give you that title for the greatest kicker alive back, my boy, because Justin Tucker in his situation. Anyways, Terrell Suggs, top of his position multiple years. Steve Smith Sr., Luke Kuechly, Gates, Torrey Holt, Jared Allen, all of which are better at their positions than Eli was at his. Eli is going to make it in over some of these niggas. Can you imagine a Hall of Fame in which Eli and Luke Kuechly make the exact same Hall of Fame? Luke Kuechly, robbed of a first ballot Hall of Fame. I'm disgusted. 2 of the greatest defenders I've ever watched play in my lifetime, Terrell Suggs and Luke Kuechly, will not be first. I just knew when I was watching them 2 play that was first ballot. I never questioned that I was watching 2 first ballot Hall of Famers. I never questioned it. I listened to what Bill Belichick was saying about Terrell Suggs the other day, how he always had a double team, how he was so, and I was like, yeah, Bill, you saying what I already know. That's a first ballot Hall of Fame. And he's not a first ballot Hall of Famer. I watched Luke Kuechly, C.J. Mosley, and Patrick Willis be unreal middle linebackers for years. And in that entire pack of studs, I watched Luke Kuechly be the best one for multiple years. I said to myself, I'm watching 3 first ballot Hall of Famers. I don't think Pat Willis got in on the first ballot either. Unreal. And you know, I'm trying to do everything in my power not to shit on the players who did make the Hall of Fame. But I'm having a real hard time with a lot of the names that's in the Hall of Fame that's making it this year over Suggs, Luke Kuechly, and Adam Vinatieri. Them 3 names specifically are really bothering me. Because I do not think Jerry Allen should have made... See, this is why I didn't want to do this. Because I did not want to call niggas names. I'm going to just move on. Congratulations to the men who made the Hall of Fame. But something has to be done about the Hall of Fame. Because Eli Manning is the only name that I am specifically saying. That nigga is not a Hall of Fame player at all to me. And I think the day that he gets into the Hall of Fame is the day that I will stop valuing I will not care about the Hall of Fame. I damn near don't care about it now after what just happened. But the fact that I know Eli Manning is going to make the Hall of Fame over far more deserving players really bothers me. Terrell Owens had to wait like 3 years. Legends of your sport, you don't have a problem with snubbing them. It's unreal to me. And speaking of snubbing, boy. Once again, the integrity of your sport and the awards that are being handed out are consistently questioned. I done said multiple times, how Dan Orlovsky and Emmanuel Acho are voters is beyond me. I saw Kay Adams as a voter, and I understand she voted for Lamar, so some niggas might be like, well, you might expect me to, you know, say a lot of good things, but I don't know how the fuck she is a voter. Like, some of these niggas, I don't understand how some of these niggas got votes, yo. I really think they need to redo the entire voting committee. The only one vote that I saw on there truly made all the sense in the world. Tom Brady. Yes, Tom Brady, Peyton Manning should be voters. When Aaron Rodgers retired, he should be a voter. Like, I do not like what the NFL has allowed their voting to become, because the NFL could fix it if they wanted to. Anytime the NFL can fix any problem that they deem a problem that hurts the integrity of the shield. Yet they allow this bullshit to happen with Lamar Jackson and this MVP just now. In no reality did Josh Allen have a better season than Lamar. By no metric, it's no point. The only thing that you can use to say he had a better season was record. He won one more game than Lamar and lost one less game. That's how their regular seasons played out. The MVP is a regular season award, so I will not be arguing, like I've said multiple times. I'm not using neither of these niggas' playoff successes or anything they do in the playoffs as a argument for the MVP in the regular season, because that shit's voted on before the playoffs start. I hope that helps you understand why I'm not going to use their playoffs at all. No, it's not because Josh Allen. You don't want to say Josh Allen play. My nigga, they should create awards for the playoffs. This MVP ain't a playoff award. I don't know what else to tell you. But the fact that you had 9 different voters vote. See, the reason that this is annoying is because it is so very clear that this was a sympathy MVP. You give Lamar Jackson the first team All-Pro, knowing good and damn well you gonna give Josh Allen the MVP so he doesn't walk away with nothing. And so Lamar doesn't walk away with nothing. This is the typical both guys win. It's a win-win situation. And we chose to give Lamar the MVP, the first pro, because he's got 2 MVPs and Josh Allen doesn't have one. Before I even dive too much deeper into it, I would like to make a statement that will annoy a lot of racists. Did they ever get tired of Peyton Manning winning MVPs or Aaron Rodgers? Because every year that they deserved it, they won it. I can think of 1 year Peyton deserved it and didn't win it. And they gave it to Adrian Peterson. And that's because AP had a legendary season. And my dumb ass would have still given it to Peyton because of how I value the quarterback. They never got fatigued with neither of those. But all of a sudden, you fatigued with Lamar. Oh, well, Saint, he don't win in the playoffs. Once again, it's not a playoff award. Well, Saint, it's not a playoff award, but that's what they thinking about. Every time we give him the award, he don't win the Super Bowl. Neither did Aaron Rodgers. Neither did Peyton Manning. And they still won those awards without voter fatigue. You see, the problem I have with the NBA and with the NFL is they allow, in the words of the great Terrell Owens, pencil pushers to vote on awards they have no business voting on, determining people's money. The NBA, these players' money is affected by some of these niggas' votes and shit. All team and all this shit, that matters. And when you let niggas who put too much emotion into this thing, it is very clear Dan Orlovsky and Emmanuel Acho should not be voting. It is very clear that they should not have MVP votes. Yet they do. Those two having MVP votes to me would be the equivalent of Nick Wright having an MVP vote. It is so very clear neither of those three men should be MVP. It took everything in my soul to stay respectful right there. It's very clear that neither of those three should have MVP votes. One of them don't, but the other two having them to me is silly. Chris Sims should not have an MVP vote. I don't know how bum ass niggas who was bums in the league get MVP votes. That don't make no sense to me. I know social media and condition niggas to think that the worst player on the field probably gonna be a great coach. Nigga, that's not always the case. I don't understand why y'all put stupid ass things like that into the atmosphere. Anyways, I don't understand why black athletes are the ones who we get so fatigued at seeing them. Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Kobe Bryant should all have far more MVPs than they have. But it's very easy to fatigue on the black athlete, I see. Oh, let somebody else have a turn. Nobody else had a turn. You didn't care about other niggas having turns when you kept giving that hoe to Peyton. We knew Peyton was setting records and wasn't going to win the Super Bowl when he was winning them hoes. I never heard anybody mention because he don't win the Super Bowl, he shouldn't be an MVP. I never heard it mentioned. I never even heard niggas say Tom Brady should have won it over him because it was very well known. Nah, Peyton and Aaron Rodgers should be winning them hoes. So it's very funny to me that now, when so many people were wrong about a quarterback, they are now tired of giving that quarterback awards. And you want to use, well, he haven't won in the playoffs. My guy, he and Josh Allen have the same amount of Super Bowls. And when you start to allow voters to tell you that, and to me, this would be my problem with the NFL if they don't do anything about it. The voters just clearly showed you that we value sympathy over actual integrity of the game. Like they just showed you based off of giving Lamar the first team and giving Josh Allen the MVP. They just showed you they don't have any integrity to the game. Dan Orlovsky said it on the show this morning. He just, why don't we give everybody something? Like, how are you okay with this? And every nigga who is a Raven fan talking about something, well, our goal was the MVP. Was the Super Bowl anyways, my nigga. Again, you professionally watch the sport. It is not your resume of accolades you are accruing. So you consistently saying Lamar didn't want MVP, he wanted a Super Bowl. That's not true. Lamar wanted both. He would have settled for either or. I'm pretty sure because he has Super Bowls, MVPs, he really wants that Super Bowl more. But at no point did I ever hear Lamar say, nah, I don't want to win the MVP. Please don't vote for me for the MVP. Even though when I retire, that will be something huge on my resume. Don't give it to me when I deserve it. Kind of shit y'all niggas just be talking. Like, shut the fuck up for once and just listen to yourselves. Golly. But the integrity, and I really hate doing this because of how much I love watching Josh and how much I fuck with Josh. Like, I think Josh is a cool nigga. I really do. I like the little relationship that him and Lamar got. I really vibes with Josh Allen. I can't even remember. I remember I made one show one time where I had to speak negatively on Josh Allen. But I just want to show you that it's very clearly a white men think that they just have a God complex, bro. And they think that it's just a weird thing because I made videos in short recession because it was the playoff time. One video I was giving Josh, I was talking about Josh and the things he did wrong in that game and could have done better. A lot of people hated that. Then I made a Lamar video. Niggas loved that when I was giving him the when I had to critique him and criticize him. Interesting. Very interesting. Lamar Jackson not winning this award is just simply silly. I just don't know how you are okay with fucking your product like this. I really don't. Like, this is, to me, the definition of taking the integrity out of your product. This is, to me, simply just a silly decision making. Absolutely silly decision making. Is at no point. I don't even think Josh Allen had the second best year for a quarterback or a third. That's why it's so hard to understand how he is winning this MVP. Like, yo, narratives cannot continue to run this sport. And then niggas say, well, you know, he should have won it last year and Lamar won it. Lamar had the better season. He beat the better teams. That's not a narrative. That is shit that actually happened. Josh Allen had all those turnovers. He didn't. And then, you know, I think it's very funny that the same thing people keep using to help Josh Allen, they don't want to use when it's actually legit something that hurts Josh Allen. You'll give him credit for wins, even though he picked up 6 wins against, well, he should have picked up 6 wins. Oh, no, he did. He picked up 6 wins against that sorry-ass division, and you give him credit. But then when people point out he picked up 6 wins against that sorry-ass division, now you don't want to hear about it. Oh, why should that matter? But it mattered to you because you giving him credit for all these wins. But now when we bring up that's 6 wins against 6 terrible teams, not to mention Josh Allen had an easier schedule than Lamar, Mahomes, and Burrow. I also want to point out Lamar and Burrow play in the same fucking division. I also want to point out Pat Mahomes has Herbert in his division. He has a Harbaugh in his division. I couldn't remember my man's name for a second. Jim Harbaugh in the division. And of course you got the Broncos and Bo Nix and Sean Payton over there now. Who knows what'll happen with the Raiders. But all divisions better than the Bills. I don't understand what you could possibly use. And then one of the things is so... Now people care that Josh Allen had all them rushing touchdowns. But when Lamar had them, we don't care. You should be a quarterback. I need my quarterbacks to be more quarterbacky. But it's okay when Josh Allen can run for the touchdown. And once again, this is not at Josh Allen. This has nothing to do with... Well, it has everything to do with Josh Allen, but not nothing to do really with Josh Allen. The people who vote on this award is the problem, not Josh Allen. Shout out to Josh Allen for getting that MVP. I feel disrespected. You want to know why? Josh Allen is too good of a fucking player to give him this type of MVP, bro. That's one of my biggest problems with this also. Because I know how niggas gonna talk about this MVP. This not just, you think it's just Saint. Go on Twitter right now. The NFL world it's NFL player. Bro, do you know how sacred I hear NFL players refuse to throw each other under the bus all the time. My nigga, NFL players who are currently playing. It's NFL players who I never hear talk down on, coming out right now talking how, yeah, he should not have won that MVP. I'm hearing far more people right now talk about how he should not have won the MVP. The only people who I've seen justified is the niggas who voted for him. I don't understand it. These writers and these get voted. And you want to know what I noticed? The players, the only great, because Tom Brady, GOAT. These sorry ass players who don't understand, like I saw them trying to explain to Dan Orlovsky this morning. And this is why I say, bro, just because you played the game don't mean you understand it. And it's certain players. See, this is why I be so. This is why I hate certain journalists, bro. Because Dan Orlovsky and Manuel Acho, they weren't great players. They weren't. So how can you possibly try to get them niggas to understand the value of certain things? Them was two niggas who was never winning MVPs. So how could them niggas possibly respect the integrity of of Lamar Jackson winning MVPs that he should deserve? How could they possibly understand that? How could Chris Sims possibly understand that? They understand playing the game, but they don't understand that high level part of the game because they never were that great. And I'm not talking about like, well, saying you never played the game, but you talking about it. Not the same. It's different. I'm talking about them niggas actually living in that moment. See, clearly they can't separate either because they should be able to understand it because they've been on the sideline watching great players for so long. But clearly their mind can't get away from them being in the game because they got shit. They play like shit and they takes is still shit. Because the fact that they are so comfortable. But for one, Emmanuel Acho's a bitch. I don't know how this nigga got a vote. I tell y'all all the time. I don't care what I tell y'all about being kind to people, yada, yada, yada. Some niggas, fuck them. And that's Emmanuel Acho in my opinion. That nigga is a coon. I do not like this nigga. Niggas be talking about Jason Whitlock fat ass. He is not too far removed from, in my opinion, of being the next Jason Whitlock. He just ain't a fat ass like Jason Whitlock. But my point being, none of them niggas would ever understand the expectation. See, a nigga like Tom Brady, that nigga looked at the seasons. He said to himself, Lamar had the better season. And the importance of saying, we can't get fatigued of greatness. See, that's my problem. You losing ass niggas always fatigued with greatness. Of course, Emmanuel Acho sorry ass is fatigued of greatness. Of course, Dan Orlovsky, a nigga running out the back of the end zone, is fatigued of another nigga's greatness. Of course, Chris Sims is fatigued of another nigga's greatness. They don't understand how to be great themselves at that crap. So now they hating on another nigga and holding his greatness against him. Oh, well, I like Josh Allen and, Lamar won 2 of them. So I just think, where's the NFL in all of this? They fucking the integrity of your awards, of your game. It's niggas on Twitter right now calling the MVP saying, it's niggas online right now saying MVP no longer matters. Now, I don't want to do that. But somebody also pointed out to me saying the only reason you don't want to do that is because you like Josh Allen. I was stunned when that nigga tweeted me that. Because not only was he right, I can't believe somebody actually for once thought I was a Josh Allen fan over a Lamar Jackson fan. I was stunned. I wanted to tweet that nigga and be like, nigga, I like Lamar more than Josh. But I let him sit in that. I let him sit in that dub. Nonetheless, the NFL should have a problem with this. Lamar Jackson should be a 3-time MVP, and it really shouldn't have been a close vote in my opinion. And clearly in a lot of people's opinion. And shout out to Dominic Foxworth and Jeff Saturday. Jeff Saturday asked that nigga, is this MVP of the Bills or the NFL? And then Dan Orlovsky, to me, this is one of them double dumbs that I be talking about when I say something stupid like, you just got to let it happen organically, to be honest with you. But when Dan Orlovsky dumbass said Lamar is the best player in the world, but Josh Allen is the MVP, how? And then please explain to me how the AP vote, you vote Lamar Jackson, the first team All-Pro, and vote Josh Allen the MVP? Please tell me how that makes any sense. Please. And also explain to me how that is not so very clearly sympathy voting. And then answer to me, how is that clearly not losing the integrity of the voting process? See, people, and I understand this, as long as it's humans, it will be human error because humans are humans. However, you can round up a group of humans who don't allow this type of thing to happen, who don't get voted for. Wayne Gretzky won 9 MVPs. That's a nigga winning the awards he should win. Shohei Ohtani has won 2 MVPs. And he'll probably keep winning them hoes. You want to know why? Because MLB don't get fatigued with giving niggas MVPs. MLB actually appreciates being able to stack on to a legend's illustrious resume. But for some reason, I ain't never heard Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo or none of the greats of soccer. I've never heard soccer be fatigued with their greats. Never heard of tennis being fatigued of their greats. Oh, we gotta stop letting Serena into so many of these tournaments because, you know, it's time for somebody else to win. But for some reason, the voters in the football and basketball are allowed to consistently do shit like this. And to me, this is by far the most egregious voting of all time in the NFL because they showed you clear as day that they have no integrity for this process. They just showed you last night that to us, this is a pity party, and we wanted to give both guys something. And because Josh Allen had never won the award before, that's what we gave him, which shows you if it were swung the opposite ways and Lamar had never won, they would have pitied Josh Allen, even though I don't understand how in any way, shape, or form you could have given this to anybody else if Lamar has this season. I just don't get it. You give an MVP off of his season last year and he don't win the MVP off of this year. And one of my biggest problems is when you go down the list and you look at MVPs, and we like to say, well, you know, nobody's going to look at nobody's going to look it up. If you say Josh Allen's MVP, that's all we're going to care about. We're not going to look up anybody else. That's not true. Niggas will remember this MVP. And when you look up the stats, you better pray niggas don't do deep dives. Because then niggas going to say stupid shit. Like, well, why was Josh Allen win MVP over Sam Darnold or Baker Mayfield or apologies, Baker Midfield, Jared Goff? Like, niggas is gonna think he should have lost MVP to niggas like that before they even get to Lamar Jackson. And then they gonna get to Burrow and Lamar stats and say, wait a minute, how in God's name did he win MVP over these two? Not knowing that one of them niggas didn't make the playoffs and the other niggas the one who should have actually won the MVP. Now imagine that's the first thing they see and they don't even know about the all pros, and somebody say, well, go look at the all pros. They're going to think Josh Allen was number 1 already. And then they're going to see it and say, wait a minute, what the fuck? The integrity. By loudmouth niggas who was always wrong on things getting votes. And then the nigga who voted Lamar 4th, I don't understand how you don't take it. This cannot be a thing where the NFL says, well, you know, if that's how he felt, he has a right to put Lamar 4th. No, he does not. Come on, bro. Where is... Yo, if the NFL don't care about the integrity of their awards in the sport, then who the fuck else will? You telling me that... And see, this is why people get on Twitter and say that the NFL don't like Lamar Jackson. Because you are allowing one of your young legends... Lamar Jackson already is one of the greatest quarterbacks we've ever seen at the position. You're allowing them to rob him like this? As much as I love Josh Allen, as much as you niggas love Josh Allen, let's just sit here and be honest for a second, man. Because I done said this before, but I don't think I done said it in a while. So let's just sit here and be honest for a quick little second, man. And I know this is going to hurt a lot of people, and I'm sorry about that. But let's just be honest for a second. Josh Allen is not better than Lamar Jackson. I think Josh Allen is the 3rd best quarterback in the NFL, and I think it's a good little margin between him and Burrow. I do not believe Burrow is a better quarterback. But pure talent for talent, Josh Allen is not better than Lamar. So I don't even understand why people are okay consistently hoeing Lamar Jackson in situations like, I get it. I do talk about the white knights and things of that nature. My nigga, this cannot apply when the numbers look like this. When it's so very like, you know what? It's bigger than the white knight convo I be having. That's why I don't care about that. I care about these fucking voters, because this cannot happen. You cannot give one nigga the first team, then get the other nigga the second team. For one, that's never happened. 2, you so very clear. And then you voting for this nigga for offensive player of the year. Niggas like Dan Orlovsky. Oh, I gave him offensive player of the year. This nigga Dan Orlovsky had been arguing for the last couple months. I think what Lamar's doing is offensive player of the year. He's the quarterback. So why is what Josh Allen not doing the offensive player? Oh, because he not having the offensive type of numbers that Lamar, Burrow, and all the other niggas is having. But because oh, he don't have talent. That's very funny to me. How you try to swing these things. The voting got to be done differently. I'm not sitting here telling you that narratives don't play a part in voting. Narratives that deal with football should play a part in voting. But that cannot take away what... I don't know how many narratives you could possibly give me that would make me take a player who just put up the numbers that Lamar Jackson just put up. For the same reason, it's very hard for me to give a damn about narratives when Peyton Manning and Aaron Rodgers is putting up the numbers that they put up. It's very hard for me to care about narratives when Tom Brady put up them numbers with Randy Moss that season. And by the way, I'm tired of hearing niggas say, well, look at who Lamar had and look at who Josh Allen had. You never made that argument when Josh Allen had talent around him before. Not to mention, I never saw niggas say, take them MVPs. Peyton can't win MVP. He got Marvin Harrison, Reggie Wayne, Dallas Clark, Jeff Saturday, Demarius Thomas, Eric Decker, Julius Thomas. He got way too much talent. You can't give him MVP. I never heard that. Emmanuel Sanders, I never heard that argument for Peyton. When Matt Ryan won MVP, I didn't hear, oh, you can't give him that. He got Roddy White, Julio Jones. Look at all the talent he got over there. I never heard that. Actually, I don't even think he had Roddy White at the time. I think that's when he had Calvin Ridley over there finally with Julio and Antonio Gonzalez. I never heard he couldn't qualify for MVP because of all the talent he had. When Tom Brady won his MVP, I never heard, oh, Randy Moss on the team, he can't qualify for MVP for that. Never heard that. When Aaron Rodgers was winning MVPs with Jordy Nelson on the team, with James Jones on the team, with with Devontae Adams on the team, I never heard he can't win MVP. He got too much talent over there. I never heard these arguments that niggas is trying to use for Lamar Jackson. Mind you, not one receiver on the Ravens would be ranked higher than most of them receivers of those other quarterbacks who have won MVPs. I just want to point that out. I love the dudes, but history won't love them the way I love them compared to them other receivers on them other teams. But I never heard that argument for those quarterbacks. But now all of a sudden, Bills, the dudes who voted for Josh Allen tried to use that as the criteria for that. Yeah, the NFL is going to have to do something about this. The vote, to me, you just can't have one of your great NFL quarterback seasons in the history of your game, and he walks away with just the all first team pro when he should have been the MVP of your. The NFL should have a problem with this. If you love your sport and you want people to respect it, and you want it to be something that people have integrity, like you want its integrity to be upheld. Like you don't want people looking at your sport saying, "Oh no, they pay to do this and they snub people." Boxing basically. You do not want your sport to become what niggas think boxing already is. But that's what is happening when you allow awards like this to be voted on by people like this and given out like this. I mean, the same niggas who I voted for him for Offensive Player of the Year. I didn't vote for him if Saquon won Offensive Player of the Year. And then you got niggas on TV trying to argue that Saquon's value is more important than Lamar's, but when they bring up Josh Allen should win MVP, how can Saquon's value be better than Lamar's when Lamar had better numbers than Josh, but his value not greater than Josh Allen? Explain that to me, please. Because you're telling me that Saquon was more valuable than Lamar when you want to argue Saquon, even though you see the team he got around him. But then you argue that Saquon's value is greater than Josh's. And no, it can't be, even though Lamar was better. Like, how does that make any fucking sense? Listen. I just don't get it. Simple as that. I don't get it. The NFL voting and the NFL Hall of Fame is flawed. I went to bed last night, tired, body hurting, and a bit annoyed. And then I woke up this morning, very annoyed, after realizing, man, they really did that stupid shit last night. What? With that being said, I appreciate y'all for joining me on another episode of Kicking It with Saint. Tell somebody you fuck with him. Tell somebody you love him. You could be anything in this world. So choose to be kind to somebody today. Like, subscribe, share, tell a friend to tell a friend. I fuck with you. I love you. Saint out.
And we will do anything.
anything for family. Now go home and smoke some more crack.
I got the moves like hot sauce. Lil' mama taking the top off. I'm laying down getting topped off. After this, she know she getting knocked off. I know she loving the money, so I keep on thumbing and thumbing. She say she horny when she taking shots, so I keep them coming and coming. Now I'm putting dick in her tummy, scoop her up like I'm raking her something. You would think shawty red track, the way that she running and running. You getting dumber and dumber, you out here chasing the bone. After she finished from giving me dome, the Uber is taking her home. Tight.